I've touched on this subject before, but I thought it deserved a little more attention. It's sort of a recent revelation for me that all these religious people, we're arguing the wrong side of the argument. Look, I mean, evolution is obvious. The physics of matter, the fact that there isn't any mysterious miracles going on that are anywhere near legitimate. I mean, the Mary's face on a piece of French toast. I mean, come on, just to see, look how desperate these people are. And so we are, arguing facts to people. And it occurred to me that we're really looking at this all wrong. These people don't believe this bullshit, and they're just all liars. And they're on a scale. I mean, there's really big liars, and then there's the little liars. And I think we know that the big liars are, the more vocal they are, the more manipulative they are, the bigger the liar they are. I mean, we've all seen the preachers who have, been caught in all kinds of stuff, hookers, the rest of it. Jimmy Swaggart comes to mind, and I've sinned. That was his remark, and I said, no, you didn't sin. You have obviously have no faith in God. You have no belief there is a God, because you wouldn't commit such a preposterous sin if you actually believed there was a God. So your sin is that you have been lying to people and professing faith when you have none. And I was thinking, it'd be just great if we could give the Pope a lie detector test. Because I don't think the Pope believes in God. Not for a minute. I mean, you can't read the New Testament and then start behaving like the Pope. I mean, $10,000 boots and the rest of this crap. I mean, come on. All this money and the gold and the jewels and all the rest. This is Old Testament crap. This ain't Christian. And so, I mean, it's just so obvious that the Pope is not a Christian. I mean, it's just obvious. I mean, shit. And here we are. We're sitting there arguing with these people, and we really shouldn't be. All we should be doing is attacking them as liars. We should be getting to the lie. Okay, because that's all it's about. And there's probably 2 or 3 different kinds, and maybe we should compile a list, because some other people should maybe help contribute to this. And let's figure out all the reasons why you would so preposterously lie to your fellow human beings about such a belief. And one reason comes to mind is there are some sincere people who just are scared to death of the idea of people not believing. They really sincerely believe that we all need to be afraid of a God to behave like civilized human beings, that there's no possible way that our interior conscience can control our insidious and destructive nature. Because I guess they are so full of perversion and deviant desire, that they think that, oh man, you have to have some kind of rules, or I mean, I'd be running amok if I had the freedom to run amok. And so, but that's sort of an indication that there is that. The more deviant the personality, the harder their faith is, because they are desperately trying to control their behavior, their own desires and will, and the only thing that's keeping them in control is this pretense of religion. And so they've, and then for another group of religious people, it's the whole group thing. It is the cult. It is the social network. Okay, they have this place to go where people love them and take care of them, and they all be buddy-buddy, and they all polite to each other, and if they get fat, they don't tell each other they're fat, and all the rest of this bullshit. And so just blow smoke up each other's asses, and it's just this fun little group. And group psychology is all over the place, and so that's a known quantity. And so there's a percentage that just want to cling to the legitimacy of their social network, and they don't want that damaged by a pervasive belief in society that they are fools and idiots, because that will hurt the credibility of their group, and they don't want to lose their little social network. And like I said, you look at the behavior of people. Just think how would you behave if you actually believed in this biblical storytelling? I mean, just there's no, I would be so fearless. I mean, I would be in Iraq right now, and I would just walk up to everybody. I'd be standing right in the middle of the gunfire and just say, "Stop it all." And I wouldn't, what? I'm going to worry about getting killed. I'm going to wear armor. I'm going to, no. I mean, look at what Christians do. They buy life insurance. They don't have any faith. What do you think the average Christian thinks God's going to take care of their kids if they die? No, they know God's not going to come through. They know that they've got to take responsibility. They got to make sure things are going to be okay for their wife and kids, because they know they're going to be on the fucking street eating dog food if they don't take care of business, because God isn't going to provide. And so, you can see evidence of this in all these little things. I mean, all the jewelry, the preposterous money spent and wasted on frivolous nonsense, our whole society just says it's just so opposite to everything Jesus Christ preached. It's just so obvious all these people are liars. They don't believe in this man. They don't believe what he spoke about. They show absolutely no willingness to sacrifice anything but somebody else's rights to their God. They make no personal sacrifices. And if they ever do anything for charity, it's all an ego trip. Michael Jackson gives $10,000 to some little sick kids and gets a photo op. It's 10 cents to him. It's not even 10 cents. It's 10 pennies. It's a penny. I mean, it's 1/10 of a cent. And so it's just a big ego trip. This, whatever charity there is, they're just trying to up each other and just show what great people they are because they gave, some breadcrumbs, to the poor. We don't see any really massive efforts to do anything about poverty. I mean, they just as soon spit on a homeless man as, take care of one. Anyway, like I said, if you believed, you wouldn't behave the way they behave. So let's quit arguing the facts about science and the rest of this stuff, because we've already won that argument. They already believe in evolution. They already believe all of it. They really do. They know the world is round. They know the sun's a big ball of hydrogen. They know this shit, and they know that their religion is based on the, babble of, people living at a time where they didn't know what thunder was, didn't know what the sun was, didn't know what lightning, didn't know what rain was. We're living in the dark at night, and then they can understand that, these people just, they wrote themselves a pleasant fairy tale because they were scared to death. Reality was scary as hell. There was plagues and crap and shit everywhere. The horrible stuff was happening, and they had to come up with some rationale, some kind of explanation that would say, "Oh Jesus, it's got to mean something. Got to be something somewhere. Life can't be this dismal." I mean, what? 1 out of 10 babies survived, and what's the numbers? I mean, it's just, it's a horrible, dismal, dark, dank, ugly life. And so yes, of course they needed something. And so now that we're living a little more comfortable, that people all know it's all bullshit, but they stay invested in it because it's part of like I said, it's a social network. There's all these reasons, but it doesn't have anything. Look at even the way they try to convert people. Do you feel like they're trying to save you? I don't feel like they're trying to save me. I feel like they're trying to convert me. And I think they're trying to convert me just because they don't, like I said, they're intimidated by the idea that they will eventually become this, laughed at minority. And that the truth will be known. That it really is all just a preposterous lie that they're investing in out of their own fears, out of, their own dependencies, out of their own desperate want for something, for something to believe in, because they're just scared to death of the reality. And the reality is, look, I admit, it's scary. It scares the hell out of me to think about what the hell's going on here on this planet. All this suffering that goes on, it hurts my mind to think about it. It's frightening. I wouldn't want to live 99% of human life on this planet. I wouldn't want to live their life. I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me enough to do it. So anyway, almost out of time. And so I think it's a subject that we ought to just, try to focus on. This is another way to look at this, is that, let's get to the lie. Let's not bother with the facts. Let's get to their lie.